John, career night for you scoring-wise, school record as far as points at the Kohl Center. Just explain what it was like out there for you and just what it felt like for you and the team just on a night when it seems like everything's dropping.
First, just give glory to God. I mean, for blessing me to even be able to play out there or play out here. And then credit to my teammates. I mean, I got a hot hand kind of early, and they just found me, and then we just played the right basketball, and the ball just found me. And I mean, when you're hitting shots, you just feel it, so you just keep shooting.
Michael?
Kamari, you had that step-back three at the end of the game. I guess as far as, how you were kind of feeling and, just kind of the energy that you got from all the threes, I guess what was it like to kind of experience a game like this where you guys had it going from beyond the arc as much as you did?
Honestly, as a player, it felt good because, you can have nights like this any night. And some nights are way worse than this. But just being in a night like this and being in the moment, it's just fun, especially when you're doing it with your guys. Every time we hit a three, whether it was me, JB, or Nolan, you look at the bench, you look at the guys that's on the court, they're all smiling for each other. So, it's just fun to be in environments like this and games like this.
Go ahead, Ben.
Kamari, you've played the point for a long time. When do you think it's clicked for John that he's able to kind of command the game like he did tonight, not just the scoring, but the facilitating, especially the rebounding?
Wait, ask the first part of the question?
When do you think it clicked for John how to properly facilitate a game against a power forward opponent like tonight?
Honestly, I've been seeing it game by game, because he wasn't used to playing the point guard. For us specifically, he was coming off the bench. He was getting in that role of just being a scorer. But each game, he's gotten better each time. People may say he's not a point guard, but honestly, in today's game, there aren't really any point guards. So he's just a good playmaker and a great scorer for us as well.
Jim?
John, I'll follow up on that. Do you consider yourself a point guard? Does it matter what you're labeled or what position you're labeled?
Nah, I don't think I'm a point guard. Just whatever position coach needs me to play. If it's point guard, shooting guard, center, I'm gonna do it. So, and then when the coach told me I was going to be the point guard, and then coming up to it, Killer was just in my ear, just showing me all the support, telling me all the plays from the point guard spot, little ways I can score and still facilitate. And then, these guys, the bigs, guards, just trust me with the ball in my hands. So, credit to them.
We need a mic for Mark, please. Thank you. Mark?
Nolan, kind of want to get your thoughts on Steven early on. Just, he came out strong. He had, some assists, didn't miss tonight. But especially early on in the first half, what do you recall? What kind of stands out to you about just maybe how he kind of, settled into the game tonight?
Yeah, I think his aggressiveness was huge right from the start. Just to see him kind of get going early opens up so much for our offense. So just see him just lower his shoulder and go through dudes and finish. It's good to see for us. And when we see that early on, we kind of know we're comfortable with our offense, and we just know to find each other and get Big Steve the ball early.
Michael?
No, team-wide, you guys haven't really shot the three crazy well this year. I guess, with how you and Steve are kind of coming on the inside and all the drivers you have, I guess what potential does it unlock for this offense once the threes start to fall?
All sorts of potential. It's more points, obviously, but just everyone to have the confidence to shoot the three. There's not a dude on the team that we don't trust shooting the ball. We see it in practice day in and day out. Everyone can shoot it. So this is a good game for us to see the ball go through the net more and more. And just going forward, we're going to keep letting them go and still trying to establish ourselves inside, just get that inside-out presence. But, it's good to see everyone's confidence kind of boost a little bit after this game.
Ben, go ahead.
Corey, what changed defensively in the final 30 minutes after they were kind of able to get what they wanted in the low post? They got some rhythm from the perimeter. The last 30 minutes, they didn't come close to keeping up that pace. What changed for you guys?
Once we realized that they were just trying to outscore us. Once we realized that they were just coming in here to try to outscore us and they didn't really care much about the defensive end, we took advantage of that just because we knew we didn't know we would shoot this great tonight, but we know we trust our teammates, we trust the players, so we know we can score the ball in bunches. And we just knew that they didn't want to play defense, and all we had to do was play a little bit more defense than them, and the game is ours.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim, and then we'll get a mic in the back, please.
John, you said something before about playing the right basketball. I think is the phrase you use. Can you elaborate on that? What you mean by what do you think the right basketball looks like for this team?
Obviously, yeah, just moving the ball and like how many field goals we had and how many assists we had on those field goals. I think that's the right way to play. Obviously, you're gonna have times where you're isolated and you go 1-on-1, but when you move the ball and you share it and everybody's playing collectively, I think it looks the right way and we come up with a win.
John, since the start, Coach has just been talking about what you can do this season. He's been high on you for a long time now. Can you just further describe what it felt like for you out there tonight, making 6 3-pointers, and just what it means for your team moving forward?
I mean, like I said, it's a blessing. And then Coach trusted me and the guys trusted me to go be that player for us, to go score. And it can be any of us. It can be these two. We have total trust in each other to just go out there and score. Yeah.
I haven't seen any of you guys since last year. But he's hanging around. You get a lot more, Ben. No, I mean, obviously, the stats tell the story of the game. You guys all saw the game. I mean, it's not every night you go 21 of 31 from three, and that'll get the chatter and the talk and everything. But as I told the team, the thing that jumps out to me is the defensive job we did on Peyton Sanford, who's a terrific player. I thought we made things for the most part hard on Owen Freeman, who's a really good player, and then we were able to get Josh Dix under control after he went 6 for 8 in the first half. We were able to be a little more aggressive and get him out of a rhythm, which obviously the way he started the game, I thought we were, was going to completely be a real shootout. But, with 26 assists on 40 baskets, I mean, I think it tells you that the unselfishness of this group. We controlled the boards for the most part. So maybe taking 11 days off is a secret sauce. I don't know. I told the team, don't get any ideas. We're practicing tomorrow. But like I said, you see these games every once in a while, and I think it shows the talent of this group and the unselfishness of this group. And happy we were able to start the new year out on a positive note.
Nick?
Greg, like you mentioned about the entire team, the points will jump off the page. But for John, 32, 8 boards, 5 assists. Just what stood out about the way he impacted the game in several ways?
Yeah, I think he's becoming more and more comfortable with the ball in his hands. I think in the last 3 games, he's got 15 assists, 2 turnovers. So he's seeing things faster, quicker, earlier. And I think he's getting more comfortable in that role. And we've also, moved him off a little bit with playing Cam, and we didn't put Janicki at the point much tonight. But and I think he's just evolving as a player, and then when you surround him with really good players, we become much more difficult to cover, to guard, because we've got guys that can score at other positions too. So, but the 8 rebounds too. I mean, that tells me he was really mentally and physically engaged when he goes and he's chasing down rebounds.
In the back.
Coach, Owen Freeman was a guy that gave you guys a lot of trouble in both meetings last year. What did you like about the way your team was not only able to, contain him on offense, but attack him a little bit on defense too?
Yeah, I think, obviously he's a really good player, and I thought we did a decent job of keeping the ball out of his hands. We were able to stop dribble penetration for the most part, and you have to kind of at times pick your poison with them, because they have so many shooters around him, that there was a shift at times between do we need to squeeze and play him more with help, or do we need to stay attached to more to shooters? So we did a combination of both. But I just think the other end too is really making him. Want to make good offensive players have to work on the defensive end, and I think our movement and our unselfishness to, specifically with our bigs, putting pressure on the rim and the ball screen and rolls and the movement and the pace we play with, it can have an effect.
Let's go with Michael, and can we get Mark a mic, please? Thanks.
You guys obviously take a lot of threes with the hopes that something like this happens. So is a night like this less surprising given that fact that this potential is kind of programmed into the way you play?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know where we were at until I looked up and caught the banner on the scoreboard, and we were 20 of 30 at that time. I mean, when you're in a game, I don't focus on that. I kind of get tunnel vision, and are we playing the right way? Are we taking the right shots? And if you play the right way and take the right shots, those are, I think for the most part, I'll grade them all out. But we took really good shots and had, in our shot chart in the first half for the most part was where we wanted it at the rim, and then threes. And I haven't seen the second half one yet, but I think when you're following a plan of how we've tried to build this team and play, as we've made this kind of offensive evolution or shift a little bit, this is a byproduct of it. It's part spacing, it's part the talent of the players. I mean, you have 5 guys on the floor that can all shoot the three, and they share the ball. They're really unselfish. So that all those things added together give you an opportunity to do something like this.
Go ahead, Mark, and then Jim.
Greg, during those first, 8, 12 minutes or so, Iowa came out there. They were really shooting well, scoring well. And despite the break, your guys were able to at least, if not go toe-to-toe, maybe be a step behind. What kind of stood out to you during that early stretch where some nights, it could get away from a team at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we talked about in the timeouts of being better in transition, making sure we're taking good shots. We turned the ball over early, too. I think we had 6 turnovers in that early part of the first half. And you don't want to – there's one thing if it's dead ball turnovers, you're not getting a shot or you're not scoring, but the live ball turnovers and they're out and running and then making sure we're shooting the right shots. I mean, and – to prevent them from as much as possible going in transition. And I thought we talked through some things that we could be better in transition, sprint harder, really get back. And then we adjusted some things in some ball screen coverages the back 7-8 minutes of the first half. And I thought that we got our footing a little bit better defensively from that point on.
Jim?
You'd said you'd seen signs from John Blackwell over the summer of kind of him realizing how good he was maybe and being the best player on the court at times. A little bit lost in the shuffle early in the season. I think John Tonje kind of stole the spotlight, and maybe Blackwell was adjusting to his position.
Right.
Was tonight kind of what you saw?
Yeah. I mean, the assertiveness, the aggressiveness, I just think he commands. He doesn't talk a lot, and he's not a loud screamer, yeller, or anything like that, but he has a really quiet confidence about him, and it's growing by the day. And he's extremely humble, he's extremely unselfish, but he has a quiet, a demeanor about him that he's got an edge to him when it comes to competing.
Go ahead, Ben.
You've talked a lot about what Carter brings to you guys. It felt like when he was on the floor during the stretches of the first half, the defense improved significantly. I'm curious, what did you see from that vantage point and how he really kind of helped you guys flip defensively to kind of get locked in, especially with the low post touches?
Yeah, I think he makes us a little more mobile maybe than having the 2 7-footers together, and then his experience shows through. I mean, he's played in a lot of games and he's been in a lot of situations, so he can really quarterback a defense. In terms of what he talks about, how he plugs holes and covers up mistakes for others. At times we used him tonight as a spy to sit in the paint and kind of, if we can put him on a guy that maybe wasn't as big a threat from 3, we can move him around a little bit and he can cover and help and kind of quarterback things from behind the defense, so to speak. So, every team the really good teams have a guy like that just understand their role and thrive in their role and make their team better when they're on the floor. And he's, between him and Kamari McGee, 2 guys that I can't, say enough about of how they've really embraced their role and how they elevate us when they come on the floor.
Let's go with one more. Michael?
Kamari said something earlier about you guys just wanted to defend a little bit more than they were putting effort into, I guess. Is that sustainable long term that, you could
scoring 116 points?
Well, as far as just the defense goes with the strides that you guys kind of made over the course of that game and over the last couple of games.
Yeah, I think, it's every game is its own story within it. And obviously Iowa scoring 90 points a game, whatever they've averaged, and the pace they play at, we knew that you're not going to hold them to 60. you know. So you have to be able to score, and that's also where the game is. I mean, I think transition, playing with pace, having really highly skilled players on the floor that can all dribble, pass, and shoot is all part of the three ball. Obviously, it was over exemplified tonight, or over highlighted, but yeah, defensively, I thought we got better, as you know, sometimes, and we had 11 days off, so adjusting to the pace right away, even though as much as we try to simulate, not even have the scout team take the ball out of bounds, just grab it and run right back at us, just until you get to the game and get a little, I thought the first, maybe 10 minutes, it was like, whoa, okay. And now they see the pace, and we haven't played in 11 days too. So there's a difference. As much as we try to simulate, like I said, in practice, you can practice a lot, but there's nothing like a game. And then you can't simulate exactly the thrust they come with and how fast they play. But I thought we did, guys off the bench, I try to keep people fresh. That was my assistants do a good job of kind of body language watching our bigger guys specifically. And if we see them starting to struggle with strides and steps, we keep guys fresh, because the pace wasn't going to change, and we want to play with the pace too. So I want to keep the pressure on from an offensive standpoint, keep scoring.